What's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Hope you're all doing well. My guess is we're not going to see sheets today, but I'm going to go through my DraftKings thoughts for baseball and talk a tiny bit of showdown real quick before we get out of here. Have some sweats going on in the early slate, actually. Second place with a good chance to win in the $20. I've got an outside chance at the relay throw, and I've got an outside chance at the home run in 20th place currently with some time remaining. So let's get lucky on that one. Hopefully we can have a good start to the day and we'll have a good finish to the day. So basically what I'm doing today is right now I haven't finished editing my lineups. It's been kind of a hectic day all over the place here. There's a lot of different things that I like that I like getting, maybe a little bit different with. I'm much lower on the Colorado game than the field probably will be. I don't think that I really want to go crazy with the chalk here, and it's a smaller slate as it is. The teams that I'm going with are Baltimore, Toronto, and not that this is going to be not that there's no chalk in for these teams either, but they are the teams that I'm rolling with. And you do have different ways in both of those lineups to get different in your builds. And I'm looking at Toronto right now. We got Goldie with the awesome projections. Yeah, like Toronto, you've got everybody in the 10 to 12% range, and then you've got like other guys, like even Vlad might be a little bit lower owned. Obviously, Kiermaier and Chapman, I just think the projection's off, but I think he'll be a little higher owned than they're projecting, even though it's still I don't expect a ton of ownership. I like the Baltimore, but I'm trying to find my way into a 4-man instead of a 5-man stack and get a 4-4 there. Maybe that's where I go with Colorado. Because I'm a little worried about Greinke just not
Sheetbot Centro DFS MLB projections have been updated. They should be available on Saber Sim.
So basically, K9, to answer your question, I have zero idea about FanDuel. If they don't put out tournaments that are worth playing, I don't play. So I didn't play FanDuel today, but I'll give you an answer in 2 seconds on that one. So give me a quick minute here. Let me just go over to it. But I do like that you guys are coming in, firing questions and everything. I do appreciate that. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so on FanDuel, it's pretty straightforward that I think that you're taking shots on like C's price is kind of hard to ignore over there. But if I was playing I guess I would go C's, Gilbert, Ohtani. If I had to pick anybody else, it would be Bieber. And that would be pretty much my pool on FanDuel. I don't mind if you wanted to use Mikolas, but I think that C's would be my number one on FanDuel. He's basically my co-number one on DraftKings, so I can't really talk about him not being on FanDuel. I have a much cheaper question. All right, so I'm going to get back to it. Sorry, this is driving me nuts. I'm going to get back to my ownerships right now. And these are definitely going to change. This is where I'm at. I do have C's and Ohtani together quite a bit, near 50% on them and on Gilbert as well. Mikolas is my favorite other pitcher along with Manoah and Bieber. That's sort of my pitching pool. Catcher, Rushman, Kirk, Diaz, Tom Murphy. I do like a mini Seattle stack tonight. If not a full Seattle stack, I definitely can get behind the Seattle idea against Sears tonight. So first base, Mountcastle, Vlad are literally the only 2 first basemen in my early builds. But I'm going to get some CJ Cron in there. I'm going to get some. I actually don't know exactly who else I'm going to end up with. Maybe some Ty France, I think would be my other guy. Second base, Urias, Frazier, Espinal, basically stacked plays. And Merrifield. Third base, I have Candelario as a one-off in some just because they kind of fit, but I don't love it. Chapman, Suarez are my 2 favorites at third base. Shortstop, Bobby Witt, Mateo, and then the Colorado guys I'm sort of using as filler pieces right now. Outfield, Olivares, Kyle Stowers at the minimum cost for Baltimore. Varsho, Grichuk, Bryant, Santander, Pollock. Those are the guys I'm looking at the heaviest right now. So with that said, I do like getting to some Royals, by the way, not necessarily a full stack, but I like getting that exposure to that Baltimore KC game on both sides. It's really good hitting weather, 72 degrees, and it's not really any wind to speak of. But I do like trying to get to that game environment just because it's a little bit better than other ones. And Colorado, it's nice and warm, but again, I'm just reminding everybody there is 10-mile-an-hour winds blowing in from left, and you have 2 lefties on the mound, so could suppress home runs a tiny bit. Still a great day for hitting. Coors is always an awesome place to hit, so don't worry about it too much. But if you're looking for a reason to get off chalk, it gives you a little bit of an excuse to get off of it there. Oh, by the way, I do like Louis Varland a little bit as well. If I'm on the Twins at 6K, there's just a lot of options to be honest with you. It's also not great hitting weather in Boston. So again, it's 51 degrees with 8-mile-an-hour winds blowing in from center. So maybe today you could argue for limiting my Blue Jay exposure. In fact, I think I might do that and get a little bit more Royals and a little bit more of Seattle, who I just expect to be overlooked, especially if we don't have Julio Rodriguez news before lock. I obviously will have a lot less interest in the stack if Julio Rodriguez is out again. That's sort of my baseball rundown, and then I'm going to answer the questions you guys threw in there. Is Bieber's fastball throw? Look. This is very, 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 very common. What happens to start a year with baseball is good, smart pitchers tend to slow themselves down and find a way to pitch themselves into the season. Good news for Bieber is that the pitch count has been high in all of his starts. He's looked better, even though the strikeouts have been down, and he also, he had a couple of just bad games out there. He's not as big of a priority for me today anymore, but I do think that he is a very, very good tournament play if you want to go that route. And I'm just going to bet on the long-term results in terms of Bieber instead of trying to overly focus on just a few starts. Remo with a cool question here. Greatest basketball game I've watched in the last 10 years. That's a really good question. I don't know, Remo. That's going to be one I have to think about a little bit. The best one in the last 10 years. What year? So I would say that the game one, even though I'm not obviously a huge LeBron guy, but game one of the finals where they ended up, getting, they lose 4-1 or they got swept to Golden State. But both Kyrie and LeBron were absolutely absurd. And that was a really, really good basketball game. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else there would be. I got to think about that one. That's a really tough one. Thoughts on Embiid tonight playing FanDuel Showdown? I don't ever touch FanDuel Showdowns. I think they're a joke. So I personally am not. And honestly, I think that Embiid is a very borderline play, to be honest with you. Now, it's a very tricky situation because he did win the MVP, and I honestly don't think if he won the MVP, he would be playing. Or I'm shocked, to be honest with you. I thought they would give him the extra day of rest. Looks like he's going to play. I think he's fine. Obviously, it's not like he can be a bad play, but I am very curious to see how this is going to go. I don't really know what the answer is. Embiid is totally fine. I mean, he's probably at least 35% of the time the highest scoring player on the slate. He doesn't tend to play and not play minutes or just take it easy. It does feel like a game where the Celtics are going to go out. I also am not 100% sure that he's really going to play. I want to see this happen for sure before I get the word. I've heard some other people questioning whether he's actually going to play. So I don't really know how to touch on that without a starting lineup. I am getting to some Manoah, Kevin, but I'm kind of finding myself liking the 6K pitchers a little bit better today. And as it stands, I really don't know what I'm going to be doing with my showdown lineups. I feel very, very scattered. I feel very, very confused because I don't know what to do with the Embiid situation. And obviously that's going to dictate what happens on the slate. So still trying to go through that. Fire on baseball questions because I don't know. I honestly don't know how to address basketball. I will post my builds for the premium members when I have a chance once we get off of air here. I also do want to hear the weather report for that Yankee game. So I'm probably going to leave in about 9 minutes. But fire on baseball questions or thoughts. Is there some other stacks that maybe you guys like that I don't have? Or is there, do you agree? Do you disagree? Is there a take you have that you want to share? I'd love to hear anything from you guys. Oh, just moved into first place in the $20. That's kind of fun. I'm 28th in the relay throw right now. And I've got some time left. I've still got Trey Turner I've still got Trent Grisham. I've got Sullivan, the catcher. Sullivan really helping me out today with the home run and the everything. That one worked out really well. I also have I have Harper, Turner, Grisham, and Sullivan left in that lineup. So maybe we can pull it out. Come on, guys. Can we get lucky and pull it out? I hope so. So anyway, let's move on to the next things. Let's see. $20 one's only $800 for first to 3 max. It's still cool. You know what I mean? But it's the same one that's 30th in the relay throw right now. And it's, again, you get a couple of these guys late in the game, maybe a late 9th inning home run from them. I can do something. Single entry stack. I like the idea of combining either the Orioles with the Royals or the Orioles with the Rockies would be my single entry lean. I don't mind if you want to go Mariners as well. That would be the other one for me. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, Kevin. But keep firing in questions, guys. I'm going to be here for just a little bit longer. I'm kind of curious to watch the end of this early game, but I need to get to my rest of finishing the rest of my evening build. So it's going to be kind of a little bit of a scramble here. But it was a very good early slate. Hopefully, you guys looked at my early builds because I think basically 70% of my lineups are cashing, and most of them are cashing for 3 to 10x, which is always really nice, and some 30x. So that's always fun. I'm more on the Colorado side as well today than I am on the Milwaukee side. Partially it's ownership, and partially it's because Freeland pitches these situations all the time. Lauer, I don't know if this stuff is going to break the same out there. Lauer can turn in a gem every now and then for sure. But right now I am siding with the Colorado side. And I actually don't have almost any exposure to Milwaukee. If it bites me. So what? Maybe I can at least say, hey, you know what? At least I won everything in the early day, but we'll see. We'll see if that's even possible to work it out. Anyway, guys, let's see what else we got in here. It looks like nothing's sort of drying up. Hope everything's going well for Sheets and his family. Let's see what else we got here. Sorry, I'm just trying to see if there's anything. Embiid is currently projected to be in. Until I actually get a starting lineup, I'm not going to make any commitments to basketball. So that's where I'm at. Garcia play on 2K is nice with the shortstop and outfield eligibility. Somehow that seemed to escape me today. Let me just make sure. What is the play we're talking about here? Oh yeah, Garcia for KC. Yeah, absolutely. If you want to go that route, that's totally fine. He is, it's kind of interesting because he's really not like a monster hitter, but he's got some speed. So I don't mind taking a shot with the speed upside of Garcia. The problem is I would rather play Bobby Witt. And that's probably what I'm going to end up doing because there's a speed power guy, although he's having a little bit of a rough start to the year. Anyway, guys, I appreciate all you guys tuning in. Please click the like before you get out of here. It seems like it's kind of drying up, and I'm going to hear the weather report. So good luck to everybody tonight. I hope you guys crush it, and let's make some money. I'll be in the premium Discords all night long, going back and forth, and hopefully with some good sweats. Good luck.